What's going on, Kings? It's Keefe. In this video, we're going to get into something that I should have addressed a long time ago, and that is guys have got to stop cucking themselves, okay? We're going to get into a lot of important stuff in this video. Now, before we get into that, hit that subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. This channel is all about helping you level up and become that high-value man that you were born to be. Now, let's get started with the video. I think, honestly, guys, I'm just going to give you guys this straight up. No filters, no nothing. I just want to be honest with you guys because I think this is a really important topic. We're going to go into what I'm talking about when I talk about guys are cucking themselves, and then we're going to get into a bigger topic that is so important when it comes to becoming that high value man. Because number one, how can you be a high value man if you're cucking yourself? And number two, how can you be a high value man in general if you are doing things that undermine your self-respect? And we're getting at all of that. Now, to start this off, I want to tell you about a few months back. I saw this guy I hadn't seen in a while. It was this guy I'd gone to high school with. I knew him a little bit in college. I talked to him for the first time in several years, and he was like, "What are you up to?" And I told him I did this YouTube channel thing, and he actually went and watched some of my YouTube videos, and he was like, "Yo, I saw that stuff you made on NoFap and all that." And I was like, I was kind of curious, like, I wonder what he thought. And he's like, "That's actually really cool that you put that stuff out." And he said, honestly, what guys do when they're fapping off is it's like they're cucking themselves because they're literally watching another dude have sex with this girl that they're basically treating like their girl, and they're getting off to it. And I'd never thought of it that way. I was like, gosh, I literally never thought of it that way. And I was like, that is so facts. That's what dudes are doing every single time. And we have gotten to this point where we treat this shit like it's normal, gentlemen. Like it's like the strange thing to not do. This is the crazy thing about society, guys. Like, if enough people do something dumb, everyone will start doing it and think it's normal, right? They say, like, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you jump? And everybody's like, no, of course not. But you'd probably jump, right? Like, it would come into your mind, be like, fuck, everybody's jumping, I guess I better jump. And like peer pressure, social pressure, all that shit starts kicking in. And you start going along with some shit that is like, makes no sense. And this is how the world works. It's crazy. I mean, 2020, COVID pandemic, and how people were acting around that shit should probably just be evidence enough of that. Now, this is really important, guys. Why is it that we just tolerate this? Why is it that we do this? And I know you guys are working towards your betterment, and that's so important, and we're all getting on our path and getting better. But in general, like, how are we allowing this to happen as men? It bothers me to the core that members of my own sex have such lack of self-respect that they cuck themselves like it's normal, and then they just show such lack of self-respect around women in general. Do you think the women want a man who has absolutely no self-respect? Of course they don't. They want a man who acts like a man. And yet we got the OnlyFans simps. We got the simps on Instagram. We got the simps in relationships. We got the white knight guys. We got all these dudes who just tolerate nonsense, and they're not on their path in life. And it's just comes from this place of neediness. It comes from this place of not being high value, of lack. Guys, if you're still putting out behaviors that low value guys put out, how are you going to get to be that high value guy? Before you can have the shit that a high value guy has, before you can even do the shit that a high value guy does, you have to decide to be it inside. And then all that stuff starts to permeate outside of you. But if you're still out here simping on OnlyFans girls and throwing your money at that stuff, or you're just like basically putting up with a lot of crap you know you shouldn't be putting up with from women, you're not treating yourself like a high value man who deserves respect, then you can't expect to suddenly become that guy. And it's time for dudes to realize this. It's time for us to stop complaining. You know, I made a commitment to myself that I want this channel to empower you, because I see a lot of content out there in the men's self-development space that is too fixated on complaining and acting like there's so much bullshit and there's so much anger and stuff. And I have no use for that. I want you guys to ball out. I want you guys to level up. And so this content's about empowering you. So I have no use for complaining about the crap and whining about these kinds of people. I just want you to wake up and realize this isn't acceptable and that you can do better. I want you to know, like, why would you bother simping for the girl if you could actually just go get the girl, right? Why would you simp for the OnlyFans girl? Why would you pay for that if you believed you could actually go get that kind of girl? It's either because you're too lazy to do it or because you don't believe it's possible. And once you understand it's possible for yourself, but you got to stop doing the low caliber behavior, the low self-respect behavior. You got to look in the mirror and be like, you know what? God put me on this planet to be a lot more of a badass than I am acting like right now. I need to stop this stuff. We got to stop cucking ourselves, guys. We got to stop with all this lack of self-respect. It just drives me crazy when it comes to fapping off. Get on NoFap. Get your body right. When you look in the mirror, do you have self-respect? Self-respect is the underlying core of becoming a high-value man. You need to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I deserve better than what I'm sitting in if it's not exactly what you want. You need to tell yourself, I deserve better than this, because that level of self-respect is the starting point for becoming a high-value man. I used to be somebody who was a virgin, who was addicted to pornography, who was the bottom of the totem pole. I was the weakest of my friend group at one point in time too. And none of that would have changed if I hadn't started by having a little bit of self-respect and being like, you know what, I was born for more than this. And then the journey just keeps going and we get better over time, and it's all possible. And the sky is only the limit, guys, but you gotta get that self-respect and stop doing these behaviors that are so low in self-respect. Stop cucking yourself. Again, don't really remind yourself of this every time that urge comes to watch porn. Be like, am I really gonna cuck myself right now? And again, get into your self-respect. Get into that shit and be like, no, I deserve better than this. Like, do you really want to think like God looking down on you like, man, I made you to do so much great stuff on this planet, and what are you doing right now? You're just jizzing off watching another dude have sex with that girl that you should be having sex with? Like, come on, guys. We are better than this, and I want you guys to get out there and realize it. Look in the mirror. Decide you have self-respect. The parts of your life that aren't living up to par, stop accepting them. You were born to do better than that, and you can do better than that, and start taking action on that, guys. I want to see you guys leveling up, okay? If you got something out of this video, give me a like, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.